everyone, my name is Belinda Doveston and welcome to the I Ching Cafe. Thanks so much for joining us. How was your week last week? Were you able to lay like broccoli and just nurture others like the earth does? Or was it really, really hard not to force an agenda and have a groove that we're pushing everyone towards? So comment below how you discovered that experience to be for you. This week we're looking at the week commencing Monday, the 14th of October. Let's have a look at what the I Ching is asking us to pay attention to. So, the very interesting hexagrams. We start off with hexagram 58 called Joy. Now, this is the first time on the channel we've had this hexagram, and it is an absolutely wonderful hexagram. Joy is the expression, the doubling of lake. It is the spontaneous expression, communication, sharing of ideas. It's when you get a group of people together and there's just this free flow of innovative, creative discussion, and there's joy in the sharing and exchange of information. And yes, this is the teaching hexagram. This is the communicating and writing and sharing and broadcasting hexagram in the set. So what we are being asked to pay attention to, right, is to focus on joyous expression. Joy, joy, joy. Find the joy, express the joy. This week, we're going to be asked to focus on our sharing and interaction and the communion through joy and expression and sharing ideas with other people. So you might find that this is a week where there's a lot of talking going on, where there's a lot of interacting with other people, and there's a lot of creative flow of energy. A really wonderful energy for us to work with this week. And so we're being asked to give power to joy. Joy in our expression, inside joy, outside joy, and just cultivating joy around us. In your team, focus on joy, focus on happiness, focus on the wonderful positive expression of shared enthusiasm for ideas and for wonderful things that you're doing as a team. There is one changing line, so a little bit of change, nothing too dramatic, which we like. And this is in position 4. And this changing line says that joy is a little obstructed. Why is joy obstructed? Because we have some kind of internal conflict. And the conflict, perhaps this is indecision or procrastination, but this internal conflict is tumbling around and I don't know what to do. And what that does, it disturbs the flow of joy for the week. Part of this journey of the week, the overarching idea is joy, but part of the journey of this week is to get to the bottom of what are we internally conflicted about. And you'll probably find, as the changing line indicates, that the conflict is, should I choose the lower path to joy or should I choose the higher path to joy? And of course, that is one of the conflicts that we have to deal with in life as a whole. Do we take the party route? Do we spend our time on the party, which is a lot of fun and has its own sense of joy? Or do we take a journey of investing in some of our education and spending time in education and creating joy through education? They both create joy. One is the lower, not that parties are a problem, they're awesome, and one is the higher. The problem is not the party versus the education story, this example we're working through. The problem is that the conflict and the internal dialogue we are going through backwards and forwards on this issue is creating disharmony and is breaking the opportunity for joy. So, how do we get back to joy? Because this changing line says our task is to resolve this conflict. We have to sit down and look at what's the lower situation I'm grappling with, what's the higher situation I'm grappling, and choose the higher, the same. All right? And in that process, in making a decision and choosing harmony over conflict internally, we release the joy potential of the week and we re-get into that place of absolute happiness and flow, right? So this is an internal process. You might find that this internal conflict is bubbling over to external conflict around you. And if you find that you have obstructions to joy between you and another person, just go, wait a minute. Before I think this person is responsible for my obstacle to joy, why don't I really get to grips with my own internal conflict and solve that first, rather than trying to fix somebody else, or rather than trying to assume that the other person is a problem. And that's what we have to do. this week is unleash that joy, because we resolve the conflict and we make a decision which joy we will pursue. What is the thing that we are going to give power to? And then the second hexagram for this week, really interesting, hexagram 60. We've had this one before. It's called limitation. And you can see from the hexagram structure, we have water at the top and lake at the bottom. So lake is sitting there and we have this river that's pouring into lake, right? What happens when too much water pours into the lake? Bloop, things overflow. So this hexagram is about containing ourselves and limiting the flow. We limit flow by breaking things up into chunks, setting boundaries, setting limits, breaking things down into timelines, chunks of time, chapters, breaking things up into small, little, manageable bits. That is how we build limitation into the week. And so we're needing to do some organizing and some ring fencing, that we do not overstep the bounds of the energy available to us this week and flow over the edge of the lake. So really an interesting combination of energies. We've got this joy process on the one hand. There's expression, communication, exchange of ideas, interaction. There's an internal conflict we're needing to overcome. It's our own stuff. It's not somebody else's stuff. The moment we do that, we can release the flow of joy. And then we have this process that also in the week, we have to create limitation and we have to ring fence things and keep things in control and into boxes. So a very interesting process, joy and boxes. We'll find a way to put them together this week. Best wishes for the week ahead. Remember to go and check out October if you haven't yet done so, just to create context for the month as a whole and the enthusiasm that we're being driven to pay attention to, how we build our neural pathways to prepare to respond spontaneously when the time is right. See you on Facebook and Instagram for our daily stories, and come and share your experiences with the I Ching Cafe. It's great to have you with us. And I really trust that in your time that you've committed to sit here and watch or listen to this episode, that there's been an insight, a nugget that you can retain in your mind for the week. And as that week evolves, you can say, oh, yes, this is the joy that I need to release. This is the conflict inside me that I need to resolve in order to unlock joy within myself, within my team or family. So good luck for the week ahead, and we'll see you again very soon for our next weekly overview.